and thank you for coming. Welcome to Haiti for Whom. This is probably the fourth commemoration of the Haiti Advocacy Working Group since the Haitian earthquake of January 2010. We're very happy to have you all here. My name is Jasmine Huggins. I work for Church World Service. Church World Service is a member of the Haiti Advocacy Working Group, which is an informal working group of 30-odd think tanks, faith-based organizations, international organizations, human rights and social justice organizations that have come together since the earthquake to maintain a focus on Haiti and to continue advocating for a just recovery in Haiti. We're very happy to have you all here. As many of you know, since probably the last 18 months or so, we've had increasingly two narratives about Haiti. One which has said that essentially we can move on from the post-earthquake emergency humanitarian phase and move on into development. Essentially recognize that the earthquake happened, but move on from that phase. And we have another narrative, secondary narrative, which says that some of the issues that surfaced in great relief and detail since the earthquake are still being felt by the poorest and most vulnerable groups in Haiti. This second narrative, the one which is very rooted to grassroots and community organizations, is the second narrative that we want to encourage you to hear today. We have a number of briefings here on the Hill today and on Friday. On Friday they will be in Raymond 2168. We will have 3 panels there. We will be very happy to see as many of you as possible. And today we will begin with one of the most sometimes controversial issues since the Haitian earthquake, the issue of aid accountability. So I'm very pleased to welcome a distinguished panel of speakers who have been monitoring this issue since the earthquake, some based here in DC, some based, one based in Haiti, and some moving between the U.S. and the United States. So I'm going to give a very brief bio of who they are, but I won't go into too much detail because we've had a bit of a late start and we want to leave as much time for their presentations and questions and answers later. If you want their fuller bios, they are available in the programs which have been left on your chairs. So we will have first Jake Johnston, who is a research associate at the Center for Economic and Policy Research. He has been a lead author for CEPA's work on aid accountability and specifically has been writing a watch blog on aid accountability and relief and reconstruction, which is available on the CEPA website. It's a very good blog. I encourage you all to read it. Second, we will have Prospere Charles, who serves as Haiti's representative for Project Hope, which is a leading global health non-profit organization. He has successfully managed distribution of 160 million in supplies and disaster relief in Haiti after the earthquake, and he's also paid particular attention to this issue of aid accountability and has done some very interesting research that we're very excited about presenting here. Finally, but no means least, Prospery Raymond is the country manager for Christian Aid, a British organization with an office in Haiti for more than 10 years. He is the country manager for Haiti and the Dominican Republic. He's also president of the Haiti NGO network called CLIO, C-L-I-O, and he's the former chair of the Haiti Act Forum, ACT meaning Action by Churches Together. It's an international alliance of Protestant development agencies with affiliates all over the world, and Prospery is the former, just very recent chair of that Haiti Act Forum. With no further ado, I will ask Jake to begin. Each person will speak in English, so we will have about 15 minutes maximum per panelist, and then we will open it up for questions from the audience.
Thank you, Jasmine, and thanks all of you for showing up, to the Haiti Act Working Group for organizing this, and to all the members of Congress and their staff that helped make it possible. So I'm going to talk today a little about aid accountability and transparency, why it's important, and how it impacts the results on the ground. So just a little bit of background about sort of how we got here, what the issues are, and then hopefully if there's time into a bit of a case study. So for the last 20-25 years, there have been profound structural changes in the way the U.S. delivers foreign aid, predominantly through USAID. Over this time period, the number of staff at USAID has continually been decreasing. At the same time, the amount of funds under its control are continually increasing. Now, what this has meant is that there's an ever greater reliance on third-party actors, contractors, grantees, etc., to actually carry out our aid programs on the ground. But at the same time, USAID's ability to monitor these actors has been greatly diminished. So our Secretary of State nomination hearing, Hillary Clinton actually discussed these issues, and she went so far as to describe USAID as, quote, more of a contracting agency than an operational agency with the ability to deliver, close quote. Now these changes have impacted not just how we deliver aid, but also how we're able to monitor it. So after the earthquake, obviously there was a tremendous outpouring of support. The U.S. alone committed billions of dollars to Haiti's relief and reconstruction. But here we are, now over 5 years since the earthquake, and the brief glimpses of transparency that we have seen consistently bring up serious shortcomings in those efforts. The Government Accountability Office and the Inspector General, which are two of the key oversight bodies of the U.S. government, have issued a number of reports, and the problems they've identified have been relatively consistent and directly related to these structural changes that I've been discussing. The most common issue brought up was inadequate monitoring and lax financial controls on the part of USAID, as well as a lack of reporting of any kind of their contractors and grantees. Perhaps most importantly, something I'm sure the other panelists will discuss more, is that there was a lack of coordination with both the local organizations and the local government. Now, while all these reports provide just a snapshot of time, they clearly demonstrate that significant problems do persist, and suggest that even the most basic data that we need to monitor our aid is often missing. So this information is important for the public, obviously have a right to know how the U.S. taxpayer funds are being spent, to the Haitian people who are supposed to be benefiting from our aid programs abroad, to the Haitian government so they can actually take the lead in their own country's reconstruction, and the members of Congress who provide critical oversight of the funds as well as make the ultimate decisions on what's fund. Now, on this front, we've actually seen some recent progress. So last year, Congress passed the Assessing Progress in Haiti bill. This requires state and USAID to provide both more and better information about what our aid programs look like in Haiti. In January, the State Department responded to this report, this requirement, with an absolutely massive report. And it does actually, for the first time, give us some information that had never previously been released. Now, this is important not just for the sake of transparency, just so that we can see it, because who we partner with on the ground, how we monitor that, how we develop our benchmarks, and how we evaluate the effectiveness of our aid clearly has a great impact on how we're actually carrying those programs out. Now, this is especially important because in Haiti, for far too long, U.S. foreign assistance has actually worked in counter to our stated goals of strengthening the state and ensuring that the next time a disaster strikes, Haiti won't be as reliant on outside help. It's also not just about looking backwards at what went wrong, but there are billions of dollars that will be spent in Haiti over the coming years, and it's not too late to make sure we get it right. Now, the answer is obviously not just to scrap our foreign assistance budget, but to make sure that it starts to work for those who it's supposed to be benefiting, in this case, the Haitian people. Now, this critique really shouldn't be controversial. In fact, it's the basis of USAID's own reform program called USAID Forward. It aims to drastically change how they do business, most clearly by increasing the amount of money that goes to local organizations and the local governments, as well as providing much stricter and tight accountability mechanisms and monitoring mechanisms. Obviously, these reforms are welcome, and we have seen some very small piecemeal advances. So, for instance, this year in Haiti, USAID earmarked $5 million specifically for local organizations. But this is just a very small piece of the pie. If we look at the overall picture, what we see is a continuation of the past policies. So since the earthquake, USAID has awarded $1.5 billion in assistance. Less than 1 penny of every dollar has actually gone directly to a local Haitian organization. And this compares to about 60 cents of every dollar that have gone to Beltway firms located here in DC, Virginia, and Maryland. About half of the $1.5 billion went to just 10 organizations, nearly all of which were American companies. As a jobs program here, our foreign assistance has been quite effective. But, of course, more money does stay in Haiti through subcontractors. Unfortunately, we have very limited information as to who those subcontractors are and what work they're asked to perform. Getting back to the Assessing Progress in Haiti bill, this actually required state and USAID to report their subcontractors publicly for the first time. It's a tremendous step in the right direction. But in their initial report, it contained no information as to the actual location of the subcontractors, whether they were American companies, Haitian companies, Dominican companies. And so this analysis to try and determine how much money actually stays within Haiti and how much is actually going to local development is still extremely difficult to do. And I can get to some more of the issues with the Assessing Progress in Haiti bill and some of the data limitations maybe in the Q&A or something. Now, before we do run out of time, I know we have limited time, I did want to sort of briefly discuss just one case study, a specific USAID project that sort of shows some of these issues. So in other panels, both today and this week, we'll surely hear about the housing situation in Haiti. Just to give a little background, the earthquake destroyed over 100,000 houses, left well over 1 million people homeless, and this was on top of what was already a serious housing shortage prior to the earthquake. For the U.S. part, they responded to the earthquake with a big housing program. They had aimed to build 15,000 new houses, costing around $50 million. Now in 2013, the Government Accountability Office looked at this project. They found that those goals had actually been reduced to 2,600 houses, and at the same time, costs had almost doubled to over $90 million. As of today, only 906 houses have actually been built. So how we got from this original plan to where we are now, it reveals a lot about the inefficiencies of our foreign aid system. It's not just a mistake or the cost of doing business in Haiti. So right after the earthquake, there was a plan to build sort of lower cost, low impact housing, specifically designed to house those who were displaced from the earthquake. Instead, over the course of the next few years, consultants were brought on, studies were undertaken, and by the time the first contract to actually build a house was given, it had already been 2.5 years since the earthquake. Instead of using local materials and local companies, as the original plan had recommended, all of the contracts went to foreign companies, mostly American companies. So you can see just how this process drags out over time, and our reliance on these foreign experts inherently are going to lead to these cost increases and this impacting the effectiveness on the ground. But it actually gets worse than that. So at the time that this GAO report came out and showed that the costs had overrun, USAID responded that they had to work with American companies because they could hold them to a higher standard. They would build international building codes. They would live up to the high expectations that the U.S. had for their foreign aid. But what we've actually learned over the last few months is that these houses had significant construction problems. So the roofs weren't properly attached. Windows were falling off. When it was raining, the doors were expanding and were unable to close. The water and sanitation system was actually so bad that even during light rains, it would back up and flood the entire house. And these were the American contractors that were held to such high standards. So USAID is now investigating these contractors and has actually suspended one of them pending the results of that investigation. This would be the first time that a contractor has actually been suspended for their work in Haiti since the earthquake. In 5 years, many high-profile failures, and yet this is the first time. But this isn't just about contractors doing a bad job. It's also about USAID failing to do its own job. So while these contractors may have been, cutting corners and not using proper materials, USAID was failing to provide any sort of oversight of those contractors and of the millions of dollars that it was spending on these projects. An Inspector General report in 2014 found that USAID had not conducted any performance reviews of any of the contractors involved in its permanent shelter program. They hadn't reviewed quality control plans, and those quality control plans, if they had reviewed them, didn't have anything about testing for quality of materials. In fact, USAID hadn't even hired a project manager to oversee the shelter program. So you can see how it's not just the contractors, but really both sides. So while it's positive that USD is actually finally holding a contractor accountable, we've yet to see them hold themselves accountable for any of this. Now, the only way to stop repeating these failures and to catch these programs before they get too far is for our foreign aid to truly be transparent and accountable. For example, this big State Department report in response to the Assessing Progress bill contained none of this information about the housing program, an ongoing investigation, anybody being suspended, or any problems whatsoever. So, with this information and with greater transparency, both the public, the Haitian government, the Haitian people, and members of Congress can ensure their aid is both truly effective and sustainable. Thank you.
Jake, for a remarkably succinct presentation on a very detailed and very intense subject. Before I pass on to the second speaker, could I just inform you that we do have a couple of Twitter handles for anybody who is tweeting today, and we have a page passing around with the hashtags and whatever you need for Twitter. Celine, my colleague, with a hand up, if you're passing the papers around with them. With no further ado.
So, right after the earthquake, there was a lot of posting that we wanted to rebuild Haiti better and stronger. There's a lot of money happening in Haiti. However, 5 years later, there's nothing to show for it. At least few things to show for it. Well, let me start back. My name is Charles Prospery, and I have the privilege to speak as both Haitian and American. In 1997, while I was living in Costa Rica, I met with a Haitian president who was invited by the University of Costa Rica to talk at an event there. During our conversation, I asked him, hey, Mr. President, why you did not do anything for Haiti? I mean, Haiti has been very poor for centuries, and you were president of the country. I don't think I've done anything. And he responded, Charles, I have done my best. However, I was fighting against forces that are not Haitian. A lot of decisions have been made in Haiti, and me as the president of the country, I was not even consulted. I don't know where the decision came from. And I said, well, you should know. You're the president. And he said, well, you will find out. If you keep searching, you will find out where the decision came from. Now I know where those decisions came from. One of my favorite authors is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He used to say, I would hate to live in a country that has two masters. One is the international community, and the other is people. What will happen when those two masters disagree? I can tell you why not this is the situation in Haiti. A lot of decision making in Haiti is a very difficult process. Many people from different backgrounds, from different nationalities, are involved in decision making in Haiti. And most of them, a lot of them, sometimes do not even have the historical perspective or the cultural background of Haiti. So what do we do as Haitian when we don't, most of the time, we don't have the capacity to take decision for our own destiny? Well, this is probably time for another conversation. But now, the idea, the thing that I really want to talk about is what happened with the billion of dollars that have been distributed, that are given to Haiti. And really, there is nothing to show for it. Right? I hope that there was a PowerPoint, there was a a screen where I can present some of the information that Jake was talking about. Because indeed, there was a report, we received a report from the State Department in December. And this report, which is a very complicated report, I had to do some work, take that report, put it into Excel, so I can even analyze the numbers, find out what's going on. Because the report, for instance, claimed, actually the State Department, they have already spent $3.1 billion in Haiti, right? But when you look at the report itself, the report that's supposed to tell you exactly, okay, how we use this is how we spent the $3.1 billion. You find out only there was only $1.2 billion in that report. But yet, talk about $3.1 billion has been distributed as of September of last year, and you cannot find it anywhere. The report that was supposed to tell you that is not showing you that information. Now there is a conception, there is a perception that, okay, we give money to Haitians, we give money to rebuild Haiti, we are supposed to see progress. But then when you look at what the money has been spent, you find out 97% of the organization who receive money out, like Jake just said, American. And not only all across America, they are just right here in Delta. Like Jake was just saying, in Virginia, Maryland, and DC. Only 2% of that money was at least directly given to some Haitian organization. Just 3%. Right? For instance, even you're looking at USAID has 4 pillars. Well, they said, okay, that's how I'm going to do my activities. You have the health sector, you have the energy, you have governance. Nowhere. And I'm talking only about the report. Those are not information that I've found out. This is right from the report. They show, okay, if you are giving money to Haitian organizations, at least to strengthen the capacity of the government. And let's say 2010 was year 0. And now 5 years, you're still giving money to an organization to what? To do what? To still strengthen the government? When does strengthening stop? When do you start with Haitian organization? Already, over 87% of the total money has been already spent. Less than 13% of money left. What can you do with 13% money left? So all those programs were designed in a way to keep asking for money. The concept of beggar nation has not been created by Haitian. Right? So you put those projects out there to keep coming to the international community. Say, okay, we need money to do this, we need money to do that. Or to strengthen the capacity of the Haitian government. But where do you start? So my point of view is, again, I was talking as American, because I think I'm a taxpayer. I give money to the U.S. government who give to USAID to do development, and my net is not Haiti. As Haitian, I feel it is not right. At least you come here, it's like you begging. Oh, Haiti is for whom? That's the theme of this thing. This is a very funny question. Haiti for whom? Obviously, we say Haiti is for Haitian. Is it? Is Haiti for Haitian when you don't have the capacity to take decisions? Right now, that's what is happening in Haiti. And we're not talking only about about any type of development you can see in Haiti. Who are making the decision? Now my approach is, how do we solve that? In the past, we have tried Haitian. Money have been given to Haitian government. We have tried to build at some level the capacity of Haiti. And look at where we are. Then the international community think, hey, I think we are better than Haitian. Let's forget about the Haitian government. Let's do it ourselves. Look at where we are. So what I'm blaming a lot of Haitian, I'm blaming Haitian. I'm also blaming the international community. How do we solve it? Can there be a joint venture? Can the international community work really to capacitate Haitian government? I have one example, for instance. I was the director for Project Hope. And while in Haiti, I have designed a beautiful project completely and get $2.1 million to do rehabilitation center, rehabilitation campaign. Please bear in mind that Project Hope before doesn't have any experience in physical rehabilitation. But as Haitian, when I went there, actually that was the need after the assessment. Oh, maybe there was a lot of words about, hey, there are 27,000 people who need physical rehabilitation and stuff. So I said, you know what? And I think USAID also was talking about that they have money for rehabilitation, for stuff like that. So I designed that project. And I said, Project Go, that's where the money is, let's go for it. I'm talking that as American. Let's go for it, let's get the money so we can do some work in Haiti. Alright? The way I designed the project, I took 3 very recognized Haitian organizations who had been working in the physical rehabilitation field. And, at least to capacitate them. Right? Just train them, send doctors, nurses, at least building, construction. That was my idea. When we received the money, less than 2% of that money went to those Haitian organizations that are present. The money stayed at Project Hotel. Say, hey, you guys, you never do any physical rehabilitation anywhere, right? You don't even have experience. Why do you keep that money when I need that money in Haiti? Oh, sure, we need to send people, pictures, look at what's going on, and we need to send an expert. Because what about the actual work? What about I designed the money for a specific reason. I designed the project for a specific reason. Now, if you look at even the USAID report, you will see Project Hope, for instance. I'm naming the Project Hope because I work on that organization. And I told them I want to talk about that. Here's what I said. I said, guys, when you get me, when you hire me, you have a sort of that has double the wage. As American, I work for you, do whatever you need, whatever needs to be done. But as Haitian, if you don't do what you need to do, I will denounce you. Because I left what I was doing here in the U.S. to go to Haiti. For me, it was not a question about money. I was making good here. I was doing good. However, I think the country needs me. And I will bring you to Haiti, and with my connection, I will open the door of the country for you. But you have to be serious and honest about it. So when I see out of the $2.1 million, $2.4 million I've already spent, and I have checked, I have all the information from the part in the ground that you only need is $200,000. So what did you do with that money? I mean, this is just one example. And you have plenty, many of those examples. So I took that report from USAID, I put in Excel, I dissected, I looked at all the projects. I know the people they are giving money, all the organizations. And to mention some projects that they are doing in particular. Actually, I'm from particular. They are doing a project with the commissariat in particular. The commissariat happened to be a friend of mine. And I called him and said, hey, USAID said they are trying to build some 350 housing there for prisoners. And he said, Charles, you were there last year. I mean, you were there just in December. Did you see anything like that? I said, no, I didn't see it. He said, well, maybe it's a paper. It's going to start somewhere. I said, well, he's the commissaire there. He has been commissaire of the prison there for over 5 years. Nobody ever contacted him. He doesn't have any clue about what it is. And then yet this thing is in the report. So what is going on. The idea of transparency is great. We need to know. But to know for what? If we know what's going on, like I said, I wrote a piece in the PA Times one time, and I said, it's not when transparency failed to produce accountability. Like you know what's going on, but you cannot do anything about it. Or the forces that you are fighting against are too great. Oh, Jesus, are we going to accept it? So my question for you guys here is just, how can we all think about, first, reinforcing that transparency that I know all everybody work to have that first report before we didn't have anything like that. And this is great. But now how can we take that report? How can we try to produce accountability from at least that level of transparency that we are seeing here? Unless we do that, until we do that, having report from your side, having report from the State Department that tells what went on. And I will tell you, the project and those reports are great. The way they design the narrative of those projects, wow, those are great. But they do not coincide with the reality, with the allocation of money, with good narrative. But there's nothing after that. So I will urge you guys to, all of us together, think about how we can do that to strengthen, to reinforce that accountability practice. Not only for the international community, but also at the Haitian level.
Prospere for raising a number of very important big picture questions, which I'm hoping that we will be able to come back to in the questions and the discussion that follows our last panelist. So Prospery, over to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Prospery Raymond. I am Haitian, still living in Haiti. I never left Haiti for more than 3 months. I would like to thank the American public for their contribution to Haiti after the earthquake. I think it was really tremendous, and it is with great gratitude I would like to thank them, the American public, the U.S. government, and all institutions working on Haiti, and particularly the work, the Haiti Advocacy Working Group. I think you're doing a fantastic work here. Thank you. In general, I'm Haitian, but I'm in general optimistic about Haiti. For me, Haiti starting to be poor 60 years ago, in the 50s. Before, it was not a poor country. People need to know that. People need to have that in their mind. It was not a poor country. It was a country with difficulties, but it was not a poor country. People were really optimistic, and indicators during that period were quite good. It was not red, it was not even yellow in some. What I would say, that's the second point. The third point I would say is, me, I'm a survivor of the earthquake. I was in Cushionet building, I was under the rubble. I was on Skype talking with my colleagues in Jamaica when the earthquake struck. 35 seconds, it was like 35 hours. I could see it. And I went in a corner in my office, and it is the only place that really struck down. While there for the 2 hours, and the youth from the neighborhood was trying to pull me out, I was seeing from the wall that I was, Haiti will be back, and Haitians need to work and find a way to do so. And as Prospere mentioned, it will be good for Haitians to work together, and particularly with some support, with the work support, that would be really fantastic. and I was saying a bright future, even it was really difficult. They pulled me out, and the first people that really helped are the youth from Haiti that went into buildings and pulled out other Haitians. And that is why, after the earthquake, I was really grateful to be Haitian. I was really proud of the youth that pulled me out, and people that I didn't know, I still don't, they are not friends, but they saved my life. And after that, with them, we managed to save many other lives in the neighborhood. And we were really proud of ourselves after this, let's say, 24 hours situation. The fourth one I would say in terms of aid effectiveness in Haiti, I think there have been some good work, as I mentioned earlier, in general and you have some organizations that did some good work, like UNICEF, they reopened school 2 months after the earthquake. That was really tremendous. My daughters managed to go to school, and it was really good. Even it was under a tent, it was hot, but still, they were with their friends. They are trying to repair mentally the situation because they lost friends, and I think it was really tremendous. We have also, second point, some private investment in Haiti, in infrastructure, hotels, etc. I think in terms of Haiti, people will think about Haiti, and Haiti is it's a real country of freedom, where people can say whatever they want. And I think we have a lot of freedom in this. People could talk, people could say whatever they want right now. I think it is a good thing about my country. I think thanks to also for the organization that work in the debt relief for Haiti. I think they did Jubilee 2000. Even though right now, just to let you know, with Venezuela, the debt went up again. We will see how to deal with that. In terms of aid effectiveness in Haiti, I would say that yes, Haiti received a lot of support. But what I would like to tell you, representative of organizations that are here, that's the people that help Haiti the most are Haitians. Just to let you know that Prospere is Haitian American. For the last 5 years, the international community proposed to support Haiti for around $9 billion, right? $9 billion. In terms of remittance from Haiti received $10 billion for the last 5 years. That would mean there are a lot of organizations, international institutions, they are saying that they are tired with Haiti, supporting Haiti. I don't know what they are tired about, because as Jake mentioned, most of the contract has been granted to their own contractor, private institution, and we don't know how much money was really staying in Haiti. In terms of aid effectiveness, again, I would say that, again, Haitians are the ones that support mostly the Haitian people. Because the $10 billion remittance that went to Haiti were spread around the most vulnerable people, the poor people, even though they invest this money in building community and charity housing in the hill, in the slum district, or to buy goods and clothes, etc. But I think people here and the hill need to know that the people that contributed most for Haitian in terms of American dollars are Haitian themselves. It's not the international community. If there is other point I would like to say in terms of challenges around the end. Again, thanks again for all the institutions that came to Haiti. You do have some of the challenges. At the beginning, we had what we call the Commission Intérimaire for the Reconstruction of Haiti to coordinate the aid, and we had the two presidents, the co-president, President Clinton and our Prime Minister Max Bergui. This commission worked for 21 months. And in terms of coordination, first, the plan to rebuild Haiti better, no one Haitian organization participated in the building of this plan. I think it was on 31st of March 2010. We were looking for this plan to discuss with our partners in Haiti. We couldn't find it. As when we found it, it was already approved, confirmed, and most of our partners had some point about in what direction they would like Haiti to go. And they had this experience with this commission. They tried to nationalize this commission, and now we changed it to Cadre de coordination de l'aide externe au développement d'Haïti, managed by the Ministry of Planning. But they gave this entity was managed by the Ministry of Planning, but without the funding. I think there were a few banks, I think the World Bank were managing most of the fund, and the Haitian government didn't have any leadership upon this fund. And you know, all the projects that has been done, they are still ongoing. Construction of ministries, construction of theater, construction of some construction of theater, I say cinema, etc. No one of this construction has been finished 5 years after this decision. In terms of challenges, I would like to say, as Jake mentioned, and I Prospere as well, lack of coordination. In Indonesia, you had 800 NGOs working there, because I carried on an EPAC evaluation in Indonesia 7 years after the tsunami, and I strike some resemblance or. In Haiti, in Indonesia, they have 800, sorry, and most of the donors take the time to discuss to the local authority, to the government, to discuss about the way forward. They took the time to set a common agenda for the future. But in Haiti, we had more than 3,000 entities, I won't say NGOs, 3,000 agencies that came. And while coming to Haiti, in terms of coordination, most of those agencies didn't attend the Haitian coordination meetings. They went to the cluster meeting in English, in a UN base perceived by Haitian as an innovation force that didn't help any real coordination. And I think if you see some failure to the level of aid in Haiti that came from there. The other point is in terms of coordination. I will meet a lot of people. Oh, I will help you do things. I will do training for you. I say, I don't need your training. I know what I'm doing. You know. But we know where the problem is. No, I have this experience in West Africa. It's just to tell you the set of mind around Haiti that was wrong. If there is something I think I wrote a blog about it, the international community need to trust Haitian to build their own countries. Because we won't go anywhere, the aid won't be effective if Haitians are not at the center of the decision making, at the center of the ongoing work to build back Haiti better. In terms of challenges, again, while working on Haiti, some of the intervention was too short term. They are not long term. It is not long term investment, and they are not thinking about putting in place some system that could prevent corruption, that could ensure transparency, and that could help Haitians duplicate what they have learned from the project. That would mean sometime, as the two guys mentioned earlier, it's like building houses. Yes, you have an American company that will come and build the houses. But if you build houses, you didn't help the Haitian know how to do so in order that they could duplicate in the future. It's not worthwhile. And that is one of the big issues with the effectiveness of the aid received in Haiti, and didn't really support effectively the poor people in Haiti. In terms of perception of the population about the aid, the population in general realize that they are talking about a lot of numbers, billions of dollars. Even the diaspora didn't realize that they are contributing more, the international institution supporting Haiti. They don't know about it, they don't think about it. They are thinking about the $1–2 billion given by the U.S., IDB, and other institutions. And the Haitian government, for example, they were really frustrated by this situation. That is why, in their perception, the aid received, the international community failed us. That is why they wanted to control the NGO sector, because they have a misunderstanding about aid in general. For them, all the aid that Haiti is receiving is through NGO. But in fact, the UN, for them, UN are NGO. Some contractual work are NGO, for example. That is why now, as the president of CRIO, which is a network of NGO formed by 46 NGO, we have some American NGO part of it, like CARE, like CRS, they are part of the network. We are trying to work with the Haitian government about the law, because they wanted to control everything. At the beginning, for the first draft, they wanted even to receive the fund from the donors and give us the fund based on report. That means it is too much. Just to let you know the challenges around aid in Haiti. If I would like to mention more about aid and coordination challenges, sometimes some of the big agencies are supporting 22 or 40 different thematics. It is too much. They are too dispersed, I would say, and they can't have a good impact. In all discussion that I hear, what I'm suggesting, even all the donors, you could decide about working on 1, 2, 3 thematics. That could say, let's work on education. If I have $200 million for the next 5 years, I will work on education. Even, let's do the education not all over the country. We will sample it, pilot it in 2 to 4 departments in Haiti, and make it successful. And after that, we could sell this idea and making sure that we have better education, for example, in Haiti. If there is something I would like to say in terms of aid effectiveness, I would like to mention the work of NGOs in Haiti. Sometimes they put NGOs in the big box. But what I would say, as I'm the representative of a network of NGOs, within our NGOs, we did the studies. We realized that the NGOs for the last 5 years contribute effectively to the life of millions of people. I would say that it is a great added value in terms of intervention. In terms of, in our study, we have 30 NGOs. In terms of tax revenue for the country, they are giving around $5 to $6 million a month. That is money that was not there before. And I think it is really interesting. It's created around 4,000 to 7,000 new jobs during the last 5 years. Even though, right now, the most NGOs are closing offices because of lack of funds. In terms of other work done, there are collaboration between NGOs to build some new villages. For example, with CWS here in Christian, we build a lot of houses for people victims of the earthquake. I know other institutions that build new villages. We have a village called Village Solidarity built around Las Caolas, where the state gives the land. The CNO, it is autonomous company from the government that build the road. We bring the water to the village, put electricity, and the kids could go to school at 5 to 10 minutes walk from the village. I think it is some good example of good project managed. And the people living in those houses, they have new businesses. For example, I met a woman there, Violette. She bought a freezer where she's doing some frozen juice, etc., to sell in the market, etc. It's a small thing, but we do have this small little good project that we could sell, and we could see if they could come into a medium-sized project to build back Haiti. And most of the project has been done by Haitian, for Haitian, with great participation of the community. And for those villages, for example, I would like to add this. We had a cooperative around the village. That means the people living in the village are managing the village as a cooperative. And I think this is really great, a good example. And I think that there are other organizations, like American organizations, that did some fantastic job as well. I would take CRS that built an hospital in Port-au-Prince. They inaugurated last month. I think it is really good. I am really grateful for this hospital because my father stayed there for quite a long time and even died in this hospital. But the facilities now is really remarkable, which is really great, and I really appreciate it, and I just thank them for the great job done. If I would like to mention other stuff, I would say again in terms of, I could call it recommendation. In terms of effectiveness, what the international community managed to do so far for the last 5 years, it's not that effective. It could be better. I think with support of WORLD and other organizations, we need to launch a new movement in order to have Haitian around the table to discuss about the vision, where we would like our country to go. And we could, I'm sure, we could have the technical expertise to help people capture this dream and put that in the right frame. And I'm sure that from the U.S. government, we could have support in terms of land and housing framework in order that when, for example, most of the Haitians receive the fund from their parent, the remittance from their parent here, instead of building property houses on a hill, they could build proper houses in a proper area and using the proper built-in housing code. That is what I think we need. In terms of other recommendation, I would say, in terms of governance, the situation is really critical in Haiti. I'm sure that my colleagues will have the chance to talk about it later. It's not governance, it's not about organizing election only. It has other meaning. It's how the place of women in the political life, or the place of women at different levels. How we fight gender-based violence, how we change the set of mind, how we create a better, transparent country. And in terms of governance, if we have a good governance, I would support any government, external and institutional, to support directly the Haitian government. Because yes, we are NGOs, me, I'm in charge for Christianity, but an NGO won't change the life of the country. It's supposed to be the government of the country. But I think there is a good example, for example, even from the hill. I think IDP approach in Haiti it's really interesting. The way that they are working is they are hiring well-trained Haitian, place them within the state, and so with their support, they manage the big fund from IDP by the state. And I need to evaluate that more to see the result. But I think it is a way forward. There could be other way in order to, while helping the government to be more transparent, because right now they are not as transparent as they should. But we need to find a way to reinforce the capacity of the government, not to reinforce the capacity of contractors, not NGOs as well. If I may move forward in terms of other recommendation, I think yes, aid is good, but Haiti needs some private investment as well. And I think there are a lot of areas where people could have good value for money, could have good return on investment in Haiti. In the tourism industry, yes, there are possibilities, because it is one of the sectors that right now the government is pushing, and even some civil society organizations like this idea as well. Okay. I think in terms of energy as well, I think one of the issues of deforestation that we have in Haiti is because people are using charcoal and firewood, and it is creating a big issue. And if American company could come and invest in energy, in water management, that would be really interesting, and even in housing. If I may say in terms of other recommendation, Haiti, yes, Haiti is not a very big country, but in terms of investment for NGO and private enterprises, it will be good to invest more in rural area than urban. Because right now, if we invest too much in urban area, we will have, how can I say that, a lot of people coming to the city, and already it is apartments already chaotic. And we need more investment in peripheral cities and in rural areas in order to keep people there and to keep the population there. And they are really productive and good people. And my proposition is to have an investment of 70% in rural area and 30% in urban area. I think to have a good effectiveness of the aid, those recommendations could help. And when we say that Haiti for whom, if we start, we need to give ourselves a second chance to build back better. And it's supposed to come from us. And I'm sure that Haitians will continue to move forward. Thank you very much.
So we've had some very big themes. How do we evaluate? How do we hold USAID and other contractors accountable? How do we get this information? How do we, what does accountability mean, and for whom are we trying to be accountable? Who benefits from this accountability? We have a report that apparently does not give us the kind of detail that you need to have about how money has been spent. There's still a lot of detail missing. What happened to the money? And I'm pretty sure that people who want to have copies of Prospery's research, please speak to him after the presentation and he will be able to send that to you. Why aren't we funding the government of Haiti? Why have we built the capacity of contractors and not build the capacity of the government of Haiti? And some very big questions about how we can improve aid accountability using models that have apparently worked better in other countries, and why haven't they happened? Why haven't they been applied in Haiti? Remittances playing a bigger role than international aid. Again, back to the question of what has happened to the money. How can we be accountable? This is a question. This is an opportunity for you to speak, and